What is good? Semifinals week has started. What's up, Hammer?
You know, just aside from freezing my ass off,
That is true. It's even cold over here
it's literally cold everywhere. It's
in
insane.
North Carolina. Yeah, I
So,
don't particularly like the cold.
yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. And currently in New York City, it is 9 degrees, and that's before the wind chill of -12.
Yeah, it's freezing even out here, and I'm like, I don't want to go outside to even take the garbage can in, uh, let alone have to like survive a whole day of it. It doesn't last like long out here, so
But when you go out there, you feel it for sure. But yeah, man, everything's good. Can't complain. 2 semifinal matches on my hands and looking good so far from the Thursday night game. I had Evan Ingram on my home
you did?
league team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I picked him up a couple of weeks ago because Dallas Goedert obviously was hurt, and I had Cole Kmet for 1 week, and that didn't work out. So I picked up Evan Ingram, and he's just been money in the bank. And it is go pack go. Tommy, what it do, man? I appreciate you jumping in. You're the first one on the horn. You get all the respect.
What's good? I mean, appreciate you, of course, as always, even though you're a Packer fan, but
No. That's why we appreciate him. We need more of those in the world.
but yeah, I mean, we've been saying, play the hot hand in Ingram. I mean, if you don't have one of those top tight ends, I mean, there's no reason why you should not be playing Evan Ingram.
So I could have I get Dallas Goedert's active now, and I could have went with Dallas Goedert, but I played Ingram. I stuck to my guns. He's been really good for me, and it paid really nice dividends. And the person I was going against had the Jets defense that gave him 2 points. So Evan Ingram, I think, finished with over 17, including the bonus in our league. He was over 100 yards, 7 catches. I think it was like 7 for like 118 or something like that, which that is about as good of a start as I could have asked for. So off to a good start. Also in my Dynasty league.
Go ahead.
Oh, what's going on? You're
had some technical difficulties. So I had to move my location because I got family over.
Okay.
Right. And I had this thing come in, so I had to set up in my daughter's room.
I see the little pink behind it when it fell down.
I got all princess shit. So I got all princess shit, and I had to set the shit up at the last minute because I didn't know how I was gonna do it or where I was gonna do it.
Right.
Yeah. So otherwise, you'll be seeing princess shit all around in the back. But
hey, either way.
Yeah. Right. But yeah. As far as Evan Ingram, I mean, Goddard hasn't played, so you might as well go with the hot hand, even though Goddard is still a good play. But again, he hasn't played. Plus, Jalen Hurts is not playing, so. Ingram was definitely a good decision to go there.
Yeah, and then in my Dynasty league, I'm playing a guy. Obviously, we have individual defensive players, and he had the linebacker from Jacksonville, who has just been on an absolute tear in terms. Yeah. So he's been on an absolute tear, and he's been like 15 points plus the last 4 weeks, and I didn't hold him, but he was held to 7 points, which is a victory for me, considering he's been going, like I said, he's been going ham on the tackles. He's been getting 15, 20 points the last 3 to 4 weeks. So another really good start there. Hopefully Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Josh Jacobs can come through for me. I could use a little bit of Christian Watson action, which would be awesome, but we'll see what happens. But I'm in good shape, and I got 2 cracks at getting to a ship.
Well, we were just talking about that Olukin. He did have the forced fumble, but still,
2 of them.
Too much because the Jets didn't really run the ball much because they suck.
Yeah. And they were behind, and we were talking about this in the group chat that, when the other team that Jacksonville's playing is behind, which Jacksonville's been playing from, behind a lot, then the other team runs the ball, and that's how he racks up, 10, 15 tackles, and, just stacks the bonus on top of that. So Jacksonville was actually playing from ahead, and obviously the Jets were attempting to throw, and Zach Wilson got benched, and yep, that was all she wrote.
Yeah. Speaking of Zach Wilson getting benched, yeah, what do you think about that? I mean, he looks absolutely horrible, and then they wound up bringing in the other dude. I don't even know what his name was.
Strevy, they called him Strevy.
Trevi, whatever. And he moved the ball. I mean, the crowd got into it. He moved the ball. It just seems like everybody except Zach Wilson can move the ball on offense. Like
It
Joe
it doesn't
Flacco,
it,
I mean, we've seen it.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, to be honest with you. Now I know the weather conditions weren't ideal, but you can't even you can't even go to the excuse thing anymore with Zach Wilson. It's just like we talked about this, you and I, about how much they invested in Zach Wilson and all that, other stuff behind it. Second overall pick. There's a lot of capital invested in him. And that we think he would get another shot. But I'm starting to lean the other way now based on
Got another shot. He got another shot.
based on what I'm seeing. I just don't know how much they can continue to trot out a playoff team. They're a playoff team if they have Mike White the whole season. Let's just call it what it is. So it's just a massive indictment on Zach Wilson and his lack of growth, his lack of maturity, his lack of, because they have good weapons, and that's even without Breece Hall. You know what I mean? They have a good team, and that defense has consistently, I think I heard a stat on NFL Live that said in the last 4 losses, the Jets defense has given up 3 touchdowns total to the opposing offense. In Zach Wilson's last 4 losses, the Jets defense, when he's the starter, has given up 3 touchdowns total. So there's no bigger indictment than that. And, that pretty much seals his deal. He's terrible. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they'll really give him another shot. But again, Saleh said that's not the last we'll see of him. Then there was another one after that. I know you, Hammer, said, "Oh, you didn't say it's for them," but then he said something else after as well. That said he'll be back playing. They said they're not giving up on him or something like that. It's something in those. I forgot what exactly it was, but it was something like that.
And I get it, and I think especially immediately after the game, they kind of have to say that to kind of quiet the media down and not, cause a big stir. I think they're pretty much out of the playoff race with that particular loss, especially losing to Jacksonville, who's fighting for a playoff spot too. But I think Jacksonville's more for the division. But even still, I think that it's just you can't roll with him anymore. I think he'll get another shot in training camp, but who are they going to re-sign Mike White and just have it be a competition? Are they going to sign Jimmy Garoppolo and have it be a competition? What are they going to do? So I think he'll have an opportunity in training camp, but I think that's about the extent of his next opportunity. I don't think we see him for the rest of the season. If Mike White's healthy.
He's got what, 2 more years, and then I think a 5th-year option.
A 5th-year option, yeah.
So let's say, next year, maybe they do sign Jimmy G and say, okay, you know what? Sit your fucking ass behind Jimmy G and learn some shit. And then, for 1 year, and then we plug you in that 4th year and boom, maybe that's something they do. I don't know. I don't know, but he's gotten, chance after chance. And, the biggest thing that bugs me is that, again, like I mentioned before, everybody else that has played QB on the Jets, whether it was, Flacco, White, or this other dude, they've been able to move the ball. So it's just, I don't know.
It's an indictment on him.
And then on the Jags side, I mean, yeah, ETN looked pretty good. Just missed a touchdown, getting stopped at the goal line a couple times. But not too bad for him. Ingram, of course, like we said, play the hot hand, especially if it's not one of those top guys. But Trevor Lawrence, again, looked
solid considering.
solid enough. Solid enough. But all right, Tommy. Tommy said he needs a little help here. Rolling with Dak, Waddle, and Higgins. DMC, Barkley, Baby Gronk, Dobbins in his flex, Justin Tucker and Broncos D. I'm thinking of Juwan Johnson instead of Fryermuth. Your thoughts, full PPR. I mean, it's a toss up. I believe that Fryermuth just was a kind of anomaly last game. I don't know if he really saw much of the field. He was hurt going in, then he was off the injury report in total. So I don't know really what that was about, but Fryermuth has been solidly consistent, throughout the season. And is Kenny Pickett back? Do we know if Kenny Pickett
He
is
is
back?
officially good to go. Yep,
So I do like Fryermuth with Kenny Pickett,
I
especially.
agree.
Juwan Johnson has been good. Let me pull up what's Juwan Johnson been at, Hammer?
He's been solid. He's been really good, actually.
I think he vaulted into like the number 7 or 8 tight end after that. But yeah, I mean, he's got a touchdown the last 3 games.
He's been good, man.
But I think I like Fryermuth because even if he doesn't get a touchdown, I think he gives you good points. I think if you erase the Juwan Johnson, he doesn't give you much. So
Yeah, but there's enough consistency over the last 6, 8 games to say that he's gonna do some damage. Juwan Johnson, that is. So you have a really good sample size. If it was just like a 2-week sample size where you had 2 touchdowns his last 2 games, similar to the Christian Watson, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So if you look at his production over the last 6 games, it's very similar to that Christian Watson situation where you kind of can't start ignoring or saying without the touchdowns because he's getting them.
Oh, of course. I mean, they're playing Cleveland.
At Cleveland, weather obviously going to be a factor.
Yeah, that's another reason why I was just going to say this is in Rhode Island. Snow pregame, temps in the teens.
Yep, that's going to be
30 mile per hour winds. So yeah,
that's going to be a lot of games anyway.
Yeah, but still, I'm going to roll with Baby Gronk on that one. Then where are they playing at?
They're playing in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
same thing.
Johnson's been good, but I'll take Fryermuth, and the weather leans me a little more towards Fryermuth. But you still like Johnson?
Yeah, I'm still taking. Yeah, I'm still taking Juwan Johnson, and just for the simple fact that he's not a down the, he's going to catch those short to intermediate routes in the red zone. So I don't think the weather is going to be that much of a detriment, as opposed to if he was a Tyreek Hill playing in this kind of weather or somebody, that catches a lot of deep passes, something like that. So I like Juwan Johnson here. His production has been really, really good lately, and I can't ignore that.
That's true. All right, so pick your poison, Tommy. But yeah, I mean, you could go either one. But we can definitely. DJ say, hey guys, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, DJ. Appreciate you, brother. I'm struggling with my flex spot, full PPR. It's between Hopkins and Montgomery. Herbert officially active. And sorely blows. Yes, that is very, very true. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Monty. He's been on fire. I'm not trusting this other dude.
I think DJ had this question early on Monday, I believe, if my memory.
We always ask Dax again.
yeah, and I think we said Montgomery, especially if Colt McCoy doesn't play. So yeah, this is Montgomery, and it's pretty solidly in Montgomery's favor.
Absolutely. I just need the safety floor, but because Ingram and ATM play last night, could always use the upside though. Yeah, even that as well. I mean, I know Herbert is officially back, but it is the first game back, and Monty's still going to be, the guy that's getting the majority of the work, whether they're up or down. I feel like so. We've seen plenty of times before where every time Monty comes back, like Monty's getting the majority of the work. There's always those couple games where they start giving Herbert a little bit, but it's still Monty. Lil bro, what up, Lil bro? Hey guys, CD, AJ Brown, Amon Ra, or Keenan, pick one.
Oh my God. Wait, hold on. Who else do you have that you're only picking one of these guys?
This might be a very shallow league, but
What do you have? Justin
I mean, it's
Jefferson
gonna
and
come
Jamar
down to pretty
Chase?
much
Jesus.
matchups in this case. I mean, at Dallas at Philly, those are two. You've got
Philly
Amon-Ra
playing.
against the Panthers, who've been horrible against the pass.
And then Keenan on Monday night against the Colts.
Keenan against the Colts. What you got, Hammer?
Well, Philly has a good defense and a good secondary for that matter. AJ Brown is probably going to deal with Trayvon Diggs and that pass rush from Dallas. Keenan is good, but he doesn't give you the upside. So I guess it's Amon-Ra, no?
Sun God, baby.
I guess. I mean,
He's
I'm
got the
not.
best matchup. He's going against the Panthers. I mean, when it's like this, I mean, this has got to be one of those shallow, very shallow leagues, or you just made a sick amount of trades. I don't know. But yeah, I think in this particular case, you just have to go with what you feel like is the best matchup. And here, I guess it would be Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
I needed was ETN Tutty. Bro, he almost had it too. He got stopped at the goal line like what 2-3 times early.
Yeah, and they gave it to him down there, so that's all you can ask for is those goal line touches for sure.
Yeah. Swift, Pacheco, Kenny Walker, or Dobbins. Pick two. Gotta be Walker Dobbins, I think.
I don't know, dude.
I want to say Swift, but Echo's fumbling too much to giving everything to McKinnon, so I'm not rolling with that. Echo's out for me in this one. What about you?
Yeah, for this one, I mean, I'm kind of leaning Swift and Walker, because Detroit's playing for something, and I talked about this on Monday, that they're playing for something now, and Swift has been healthy. There haven't been very many injury concerns, and now I think they're going to start. I think his usage is going to pick up because now they have a playoff spot in sight, and I think they want to, really put the foot on the pedal in terms of their offensive prowess there. So I'm going to go Swift, and I know Ken Walker's coming off an injury. He didn't look that good against San Francisco. He looked okay coming back, but I do like Ken Walker if these are the choices. Dobbins, I don't know. I know he's been productive the last couple of weeks, but I can't trust. I don't know. That Ravens backfield always makes me nervous no matter who's back there. You know what I mean? So I think I'm going to go. Man, Dobbins' last two games have been really good. Over 100 in both.
Huntley again, so it's not Lamar. So I just
Huntley can run.
Especially with the Falcons.
Yeah, I think you're right here. So I'm actually gonna go Ken Walker and Dobbins here, but Swift is a close third, like a very close third, and they are playing the Panthers.
Yeah, he was a close third for me too, but I think I'd rather take the chance with Ken Walker or Dobbins rather than seeing Jamal Williams score another 2 touchdowns, possibly in your, in this particular week that you need to win. So, do love Swift though, and we could be wrong. We could be wrong on this one, but it's a risky play. It depends how risky you want to get. Really, that's what it comes down to. If you want to play the risky upside play, then fuck it. I would play Swift and Dobbins. Maybe I wouldn't even play Walker. If you want to go crazy. Tommy said full PPR, need a wide receiver and a flex. DJ Moore, Devonta, Pacheco, or Leonard Fournette.
I think I'm going to go Devonta Smith as my wide receiver. Because I still think Gardner Minshew's not a scrub. Like, he could play. And he was good in the last season when he had to fill in for Jalen Hurts. So I do like Minshew there. I mean, Devonta Smith, even with Minshew. And that's in Dallas, so there's going to be ideal conditions. So I think Devonta Smith is the best wide receiver for this play. And then the flex is tough, man. I think I will. I think I might go with Pacheco just because of Kansas City's offensive system. I know you brought up the fumbling issue, but can you trust Fournette? Can you trust DJ Moore? I don't
I
know.
think I'm going with DJ Moore and Devonta, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but Pacheco
He
still
does.
has a solid floor. So I'm going put Devonta Smith at wide receiver and Pacheco at the flex.
Yeah, it's close. I'll still roll with DJ and Devonta. DJ got a little bit more last game, obviously, scored the touchdown. And they are playing the Lions, whose pass defense hasn't been good. The run defense has been really good. But yeah, I think I'll still roll with DJ and take the chance with Devonta. But Pacheco's actually a close second to me. I'm not playing Lenny. I don't know what the hell's going on over there. So yeah, it's either DJ and Smith or DJ and Pacheco. I'm gonna roll DJ and Smith right now. Jay, appreciate you, brother. No problem, anytime, man. Goff or Minshew had hurts. Goff or Minshew.
I think I'm going Goff here against Carolina.
The Panthers haven't been great at all against the pass. Minshew could be like hit or miss. The Cowboys is it just a hit or miss defense in general? Like, you know,
But I do think there is some extra motivation considering all the trash talk and all that stuff. So,
absolutely, absolutely.
and I like the matchup. And Goff has been a high volume guy this last month and change. So they look like, and once again, like I said with Swift, they got something to play for. So I think they're really trying to, go all systems ahead. So I like Goff here.
Yeah, you've seen Jamal Williams hasn't gone crazy lately with the touchdowns. Goff's been kind of throwing it in, so
Works for me.
Here's Bagala. What's good, Bagala?
There he is.
He said Pacheco, Tommy. He likes Pacheco there. Simp, what's up, brother? Merry Christmas, man. The bad weather. Should I roll with Joku? Juwan is available, but he's in the same game. Beta rolling dice and picking up Auden since he's playing the Cardinals in a dome.
I still like.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I think the weather obviously is going to be a factor, and Simp, you're obviously more than checking it out the right way in terms of the weather, because the weather is absolutely going to be a factor this particular weekend. But I just think that the upside of Njoku or Jawan is so much higher than Otten that you have to consider the talent and how much production you're getting out of those guys kind of trumps the weather situation, especially in short yardage situations with these tight ends. You don't need to throw it 30 air yards to get them the ball. 5 to 10 air yards to get the ball isn't really going to be affected by cold that much. Rain and wind, maybe, whatever the case may be. But I think you still roll with Njoku or Jawan Johnson. That's really a toss-up to me, to be honest with you. But I wouldn't play Otten just because he's in a dome, because I don't think his upside is as good as Njoku or Jawan in this situation.
Yeah, I don't know if I would go with Otten either, even with the weather conditions, like Hammer said. And listen, these tight ends, these are those little, 5-yard ins, these 5-yard little curls, or these flats where they're just running through the flat, where they're still, able to catch balls. Even with the bad weather, they're still getting, some short work. So it's definitely a tough decision. I mean, yeah, Jawan's been really good, but I don't know. Why do I still like Joku? I just feel like he gets more targets. I don't know. I think I'm going Joku. What's your final answer, Hammer?
Yeah, this is Jawan Johnson for me, but I wouldn't be mad if you went with Njoku. They're basically
it's the same.
Very similar. I know Jawan has had obviously the touchdown production lately, but if you went with Njoku, he's a really solid option.
Broncos or Titans defense?
All right, so
Broncos against the Rams. Broncos have been solid all year, no matter who they play, pretty much.
Tennessee playing Houston. Houston's not rolling over lately. Yeah, I think I'll go Denver here.
Yeah, Texans have been good the last 2 games pretty much, so
Against good teams.
they've got the hot yeah, they're hot, and then you've got Malik Willis starting, I believe, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
That
Yep.
Hill out, so you've got Malik Willis starting, so yeah, I don't know. I'll take the Broncos there. Like I said, they've been solid. Thanks, Sim. Let's see what we got here. We got Bills at Bears. Not sure. Biggs. What do you think about that game? They're playing at Chicago.
Yeah, I think this is a game that Bills should win. But the Bills haven't exactly been on steady footing lately. You know, they look a little shaky. I know the record said the record's 11-3. But obviously I like the Bills here, but I think there is some room for the Bears guys to be effective. Justin Fields, if you have him, he's still running around like a maniac, getting a bunch of yards on the ground. So, you know, if you're thinking about starting Justin Fields, then he's obviously a good option. Monty, we talked about Monty. I think that's really it for the Bears.
Yeah, this is another one that's going to be ugly weather. Guys, make sure you check these weather with your kickers. Supposed to be 20 to 30 mile per hour winds. Temperatures feeling like -10.
It's insane. Absolutely
So,
insane.
might be a little, yeah. So just be careful with your kickers. Make sure, you're looking at these matchups more than ever. Speaking of kickers, Simp said, Bucker's sucking lately, trying to decide if I should look elsewhere for another kicker. No, it seems insignificant. Insignificant, but trying to maximize points. Not insignificant because Bucker fucked me, so he can kick rocks. Who else is out there? Probably a kicker that is playing in a dome, maybe. Probably a team that maybe struggles in the red zone. Struggles to put up touchdowns in general. There's a kicker. Joseph's been pretty solid.
Dicker the kicker. Bagala's been
They've been horrible in the red zone. What's Suckup been doing here? He was good at one point, then he kind of yeah, they've been shit. Joseph, I think he's been pretty decent. Yeah, Greg Joseph's been putting up solid points. 8, 6, 12, 8 the last 4 games. I think they're playing at the Giants though. Or are they playing at home? No, they're playing at Minnesota. So boom, there you go. A game where it's in a dome. You've got a kicker that's been solid the last few weeks. I don't know about the Dicker dude. What about the Dicker dude, Hammer?
Bagala was talking about him. I don't know much about him, honestly.
Cameron
Bring him
Dicker.
up.
He's solid too. They're playing at Indy. That's a dome as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can go with either of those guys.
And either way, that it would be in San Diego, but it's at Indy in a dome. That's a good option as well.
He's had 6, 11, 7, and 5 the last few games. So,
but ideal conditions.
No, I know exactly. Exactly. Who are we even playing the Giants? When you taking Dicker or Joseph?
I'd probably go with Joseph. Just because I know the Vikings can move the ball. I mean, I know the Giants have a decent defense, but I like Joseph a little bit more. I think the Vikings have a higher chance to be in scoring situations.
Vikings, we've just been burned by so many kickers that yeah, Joseph is the best decision, but I go with Joseph. When do the Chargers play?
Monday night.
Next game we got here, Hammer.
What you got?
Saints at Browns. We just talked about this bad weather.
Yeah, in Cleveland.
Mhm.
I think I like the Browns here. I know the Saints have a really good defense, but Saints are a dome team. Browns have a good running game. Not that the Saints don't, but I think the Browns are more built for this kind of game in terms of the running game. Deshaun Watson could run around a little bit, extend some plays, maybe be able to find somebody off schedule. Are you playing Deshaun? Are you rolling Deshaun out there? Bagala's not.
No, not with the weather. I think with the
And hit,
weather, it makes you more just go away from it. But yeah,
yeah, Bagala's not running Deshaun out there. So yeah, I would kind of stay away from Deshaun if you can. Saints. Are you going with any of the pass catchers for Cleveland? Actually, Peoples Jones, Amari.
trying not to. I mean, if you got a better option, that's the other part. Like, do you have a better option? I mean, probably not trying to roll out Peoples Jones. Probably don't want to play him on either. But again, it depends what your other options are. Like,
Yeah, obviously Chubb.
yeah, you're
Chubb is.
playing.
Are
You might
you are you
play Hunt
are
if
you
you got.
playing Hunt in the flex if you have to?
Yeah, I mean, it depends who else. What other options are there? But
Obviously, we talked about Njoku, a really
well,
solid option at the tight end spot. Tight end's incredibly thin. And on the Saints side, we talked about him too. The tight end, Jawan Johnson. Is Olave playing or is he out? I think he's out.
mm, yeah, he's ruled out.
So Olave's out. I know Shaheed has been playing really well, but
Yeah,
he's a deep threat. He's a deep threat option, and I don't know if that's going to lend itself to any sort of the upside production that you're looking for. So that's going to be a tough call. Kamara, obviously, if you have Kamara, you probably don't have two better options than Kamara, so he's got to be somewhere in your RB flex positions. But
yeah,
yeah, I like the Browns here.
yeah. I think I like the Browns too. That hurts that Olave's out. Like, Squidward, my guy, was good with the 7-Eleven. Open, baby, all day.
Mm-hmm.
Browns or Vikings this week, or Vikings defense this week. Browns or Vikings defense this week.
I'd probably lean on the Browns because it's probably going to be a lower scoring game. That
Yeah,
Vikings Giants game is in Minnesota. So, once again, ideal conditions. That could be, a 24, 28, 24 kind of game, somewhere in that range. I think the Browns Saints could be, 13-10 maybe, something like that. So, I'd go Browns defense here.
yeah, me too. We just talked about the really bad weather again. Like Hammer said, could be low scoring game. So we're gonna roll with the Browns there. Also, McKinnon or Zeke for Week 16
Ooh.
PPR. Gee.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go McKinnon here for PPR purposes.
Yeah, that very well could be. I mean, Zeke has been
Zeke's been solid.
pretty solid lately. Let me see. Yeah, Zeke has been solid. He's scoring a touchdown in basically every single game because he's gonna get the ball down there at the
He's
goal
been
line.
good, man. But McKinnon has the higher ceiling here.
Yeah, no, he definitely has the higher ceiling. But yeah, I'll roll with McKinnon because basically what Zeke is doing, McKinnon will get that. Well, Zeke's been catching the ball too, so
Yeah.
he's,
He's
he's,
got 10 targets in his last 3 games. 8 catches on 10 targets. Damn, Zeke has turned into a touchdown machine, dude.
Yeah, I
Jesus.
think I'll roll with McKinnon. They're playing. Who are they playing? Playing the Seahawks.
But you know what's crazy? Even with all that touchdown production, he's still only RB19.
He's not putting up like a crazy
Crazy
amount.
yardage.
We
Right.
gotta hope he scores a touchdown. So
Which he's doing, kid. He's got, what's he got? He's got 10.
absolutely.
So yeah, I think I'll roll with McKinnon just because he has the receiving work and he has the higher upside. That's a tough call, though.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to roll McKinnon too. It is tough because I think they do lean more heavily on the Cowboys, but again, I think like you said, McKinnon just got the higher upside overall. You can feel pretty safe. He's gonna give you a safe floor,
Mm-hmm.
that pass catching ability. But yeah, that brings us to the next game, which was Titans and Texans. Oof, KJ, DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk.
No, you're not playing KJ Osborne. Don't do that. Don't get caught up in that crazy production he had.
No.
Ayuk's a tough one here. I do think if all things were equal, you play Ayuk. Who does San Fran have? Trying to see who San Fran has. Come on. San Fran is home against the Commanders. DJ Moore playing the Lions in what could be a fairly high scoring game. And I think the weather shouldn't really be a factor there in Carolina. So it's between DJ Moore and Ayuk. I think I might lean DJ Moore here. I don't think Brandon Ayuk has really given you a ton of upside here, especially over the last couple of games. He did have the touchdown 2 weeks ago, but other than that, you're pretty much going to get 8 to 10. If he gets a touchdown, you're looking at 13 to 15. So I think I'd lean DJ Moore here, but that's a tough call.
I'm rolling with DJ Moore too. He's just the best option out of all of them. He's just constantly at least involved. KJ just has not been involved unless they're down by 33 points and have to throw the ball. So, and then Ayuk just hasn't really been that involved with Purdy at all either. So I guess it's got to be DJ. As far as concerned, Isaiah Pacheco will get touches. Of course, he's going to get touches, but the guy's been
There's
fumbling.
enough to go around. I
Guy's
think
been
there's enough to go
fumbling.
around.
McKinnon's been hot. I mean, and they trust McKinnon in late game situations where shit matters. So, yeah, I mean, of course, Pacheco's going to be involved. It's not like McKinnon's going to be the 3-down back. I don't believe that at all.
But you're just looking for that
I
upside,
mean,
that one play.
we've seen Ronald Jones in there even as well, barely.
But I think the good thing, and I guess the bad thing at the same time about that Kansas City offense is Patrick Mahomes is an equal opportunity employer. So if you're going to make plays, he's going to get you the ball. You know what I mean? So, and the thing, as Blanc was saying, is that McKinnon is going to get those crunch time touches, and he's such a versatile guy that he's basically a receiver out of the backfield. You know what I mean? So he creates matchups all over the field, and you don't need to get him the ball anything more than 5 yards for him to go make a play. Mahomes trusts him. He's a high upside guy. He could change the course of your matchup in one play, and we've seen that happen over the last couple of weeks. So not concerned at all.
Definitely. Brady on ice. That's cute. I love it. Kamara, Lamb, Waddle, full PPR for flex. You got Hammer.
I think I'm going Waddle here. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Waddle here. Miami's playing in Miami against my Packers, so the conditions are going to be ideal. And And I think they're just going to have a field day out there. I think the Packers will score some points, but I think it'll be a really good opportunity. And Waddle did his thing last week anyway against Buffalo. I know it was only 3 catches, but it was 114 yards and it was a touchdown. So I'm going Waddle here.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a similar question earlier today. Somebody DM'd me on Instagram, but yeah, I went with Waddle. Like you said, it's kind of a good matchup there. Lamb should play well as well, but Waddle, I think, a little more upside in this one. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with Waddle as well. And again, guys, hit that like, hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate y'all.
Let me get a drink.
As always, go ahead. Go grab a drink. Main event, Mike. What is good, brother? Got the hardest question. Would appreciate your thoughts. Definitely, bro. Shaheed Hodge. Oh, this is deep. Okay. Shaheed Hodgins, Hudson, Cordell Patterson. Definitely not Deshaun Jackson. Get that out there. James Cook, Lazard, Jacoby, Donovan Peoples Jones,
I heard Deshaun Jackson.
2 wide receivers, and a flex. So I'm gonna rule out Peoples Jones because of the weather. We're gonna rule that out. We're gonna rule out Deshaun Jackson.
Yep.
Jacoby
Myers as well.
Myerson. I don't know. Myers has been solid, like on the low. Let me pull him up real quick. What do you think about some of those guys? Some of those guys there.
I guess the guys I do like is Dotson. Dotson's been pretty good. Shaheed is good, but that weather is going to be a problem. So I like Dotson. Patterson's interesting because he does get some of the return work as well. Obviously, Lazard. I know he hasn't been that great, and they have a full complement of receivers. So Lazard has kind of been really a very risky play. Peoples Jones added there. How many does he need here?
He needs 2 wide receivers and a flex, so he's actually got to pick 3 of these guys.
So the 2 wide receivers, I think.
Jackson, my bad. What? I think it was Deshaun. Deion Jackson. Well, okay.
Which is which I actually like that a lot more.
Yeah.
But I think for the wide receiver, I'm going to go Dotson as 1. I mean, they are playing San Francisco, so that's tough, but I still think he could make a play or 2. I think the flex is going to be Jackson just because of the receiving work. And you need another wide receiver. So Lazard, Jacoby Myers, Hodgins. I know New England's playing Vegas in New England. No, Cincinnati. Who's Vegas playing? Jesus.
The Patriots are playing Cincinnati.
Right. Pittsburgh is playing. The Raiders are playing in Pittsburgh.
And Jacoby is questionable, but
yeah, I don't know. I think the 1 receiver is going to be Dotson, and the flex is going to be Jackson. I'm not really too sure.
I definitely agree with that.
I'm not too sure who the other receiver would be. Realistically, it should be Lazard, but he just hasn't been that good since Christian Watson exploded. And now Dubes is back. Randall Cobb is in the action. So that's a tough one.
He didn't have a good game last game, but I'm going to go actually with Lazard because they're playing Miami. I think he's got to pass the ball.
Yeah, I can't be mad at that. I was just
I think I'd go Dotson and Lazard, wide receiver. And then in the flex, gotta be either Patterson or Jackson.
Yeah, if your team does give you points for return, you could lean towards Patterson because Patterson has been getting some return work. But if it's just a PPR,
You got Nick Foles QBing as well. Don't forget.
That doesn't bother me that much. He's a pro.
I know. I'm just bringing it up because Colts there, but I don't know. Give me Patterson. I don't know if I trust that whole. If I want to play with that whole Colts thing. I mean, I don't necessarily believe that Moss should be the main guy. I don't know if that was just because they were up by so much they had to run the football or what. I don't know. It's just that unknown for me with Jackson. Like, yes, he'll be there on the passing down work, but at least Cordell I know is going to get 10 to 15 touches. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah, I can't
but
can't
I'm
really
not
argue with
sure
that
if
too much.
Jackson will get that. So, all right. So yeah, give me Dotson, Lazard, and Cordell. What's your three, Hammer?
Yeah, it's Dotson. Oh man, Lazard's tough, but he's still a really productive receiver. And like you said, they have to throw. So there's really that's the best case to be made out of any of these guys. Hodgins is a sneaky decent play. He's been okay, but I just that Giants passing game is just so awful, dude. It really is. Um, so yeah, so I'd take Dotson, Lazard, and I probably lean Jackson just because I think they're gonna mix those guys in. So, but listen, Cordell Patterson, I actually tried to trade for him because I thought he would be really good. Um, and he's explosive, so he can. But he's splitting with Algier, so that's obviously a tough call. Um, but yeah, I'll go Deion Jackson here in my flex.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Hodgins is playing the Vikings, and the Vikings defense is pretty bad. So he's actually got good matchup, but I just don't trust he's going to get enough targets to do anything. Like I don't know. I don't trust it. I ain't trusting him. Yeah. Simp, what up, Simp? Again, picked up Tua since Hurts went down. Okay. What you complaining about, bruh? Hopeful offset some of my opponent's points since he has Tariq and Mostert. Yeah, awesome. There you go.
That's pretty good.
Awesome. For flex, who would you pick? Sutton, AJ Dillon, or Foreman, PPR?
It's not Sutton, and I don't honestly.
That
I
can't be
don't.
Foreman after that last performance.
Yeah, but if the Packers aren't up, then AJ Dillon is not going to be a
No.
factor. You know that game against the Rams was the perfect situation to deploy AJ Dillon. You knew they were going to be up in Green Bay in the cold. But yeah, I think I'll go AJ Dillon here either way because the rest of the options don't look enticing. And if they get down near the goal line or if they're ahead, fuck it, you never know. They could be ahead. The Packers aren't a terrible team. I think Miami's a little bit better at this point, but they could be ahead. And don't forget, AJ Dillon's a pretty good pass catcher. So
Yeah, I mean the Panthers, or the Lions actually have been great against the run since like week 8 or something like that. They've been stopping literally everybody. So yeah, I'm not gonna go with Foreman, especially PPR. The easy answer should be Sutton. It
but
should
it's not.
be
But
Sutton,
it's
and
not.
it's not.
It's not. And it hasn't been
Which
for
yeah,
2 months.
the Pack do tend to get AJ Dillon the ball late in the season, and we're here late in the season, and it's like, all right, let's roll AJ Dillon out there. It should be something. Easy. Joku or Dawson Knox? Joku or
Njoku.
Knox, Hammer?
Njoku.
What is what does Knox have?
Buffalo's playing Chicago in Chicago.
Chicago in Chicago. Yeah, I've never trusted Dawson Knox. He's so hit or miss. I
Hit or
mean,
miss. He's been hitting a little bit lately.
most tight ends are hit or miss, but he has been hitting a little bit lately. That's why I'm going to check him out real quick because I've been seeing him. Yeah, the Jets,
Yeah.
Miami.
I think I'm still going with Njoku here.
They haven't given up much to tight ends. Third lowest in the league. They've gave up tight ends. So yeah, still go with Njoku. He's been getting work no matter what. Thanks, guys. I do get points for return points. Awesome. Awesome,
So
man.
Patterson could be a really good option there because he does
That
get some
could
in the
be,
return game.
he could be the main event, bro. Appreciate you guys. Blizzy, Josu. Oh, now he's got Joku, Knox, or Juwan. Are you going with your boy Juwana?
Yep.
Hammer's been going with his boy Juwana. I think I went with Joku earlier. I'm gonna stick to that because we had that question earlier, right?
Yes, we did.
I'm gonna stick to Joku. Juwana Johnson. Next game we were getting into was that Texans Titans.
The story here is Derrick Henry and whether or not he rushes for 200 yards.
Yeah, this is pretty true.
I don't think you're playing anybody else really from this game.
Yeah, we did mention the Texans have been playing a lot better, but I think Cooks is back too.
I still wouldn't trust it.
I would not either.
Not in this situation.
IR now, so that's done. Brandon Cooks is questionable. Chris Moore questionable too. Yeah, I mean you can't really play anybody on the Houston Texans right now. They put Pierce on the IR. They're just trying to lose out.
Yeah, no, Pierce is done.
They're trying to lose out. Yeah, I mean, there's nobody you can play on the Texans squad. Titans, like we mentioned before, I think Malik Willis is starting this week, so no Ryan Tannehill. Burks is good to go, right? Burks all set.
I'm not even sure. I haven't checked. I think, what are we in? Week 16? I thought he was out.
Was a
That was
full
last week.
participant in practice since from Tuesday to Thursday, but he's
So that's
still
a good sign.
destination, waiting for the green light before we know if Traylon's out there. But
I still wouldn't run him out there.
You're not playing him out there with Malik Willis, so.
Nope.
I gotta play Malik Willis. Oh no, actually, I think I lost that. So I lost in this league last week by 2 points. I could have swore I won. And Aaron Jones, I guess, just took it over the top. Lost by 2. Yeah, I think we're both going with the Titans here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're rolling with the Titans, but you're not playing anybody outside of Derrick Henry in that game.
That's the bottom line.
Seahawks Chiefs. We've talked about McKinnon obviously going ham.
Yeah, buddy. This is a really intriguing game. I think Seattle does have a chance to make this very interesting. They're still pretty good team. I know they've tailed off a little bit. But you're playing DK. Tyler Lockett's out, so DK should be an absolute start in this situation. Kenneth Walker, I think he's a borderline must start. I think he's more of an RB2 this week than an RB1. His production, especially yardage wise, hasn't been as impressive as it was when he first burst on the scene, but I still think you got to play him. Obviously for the Chiefs, Juju, the usual suspects, Kelsey, Mahomes, McKinnon, Pacheco, depending on what your other options are. I'm taking the Chiefs here, but I think it could be a closer game than many people think.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm definitely going to take the Chiefs. Mention Kenneth Walker. I don't know what other options you have, but
Are you looking at any tight ends? Noah Fant?
Possibly just because they're playing the Chiefs, I think, always a good time to pick one of those tight ends going against a team where they might have to be, passing a lot or they might be down. So that's obviously just an upside for a tight end. Tight ends that we just have no clue what's going to happen each and every week. Patty obviously will do his thing. Tony apparently is back. He didn't do jack last game. I don't really expect him to do much. we're off the Tony train right now. Everybody, I think, might be.
Yeah, nah, I'm not
Especially
messing.
it's after he burned everybody when everybody went to play him that second week that he was on the team. Remember, the
No,
first week he
no,
scored the touchdown, and the second week it was like everybody was out, and then he wound up, you know, catching one pass and pulling a hammy.
no. I'm good. I'm good on Kadarius Tony. They just have too many other guys who are proven players. And now, obviously, with Juju back, McKinnon in the mix, Kelsey's the guy. MVS is still lurking around waiting to make a big play here and there. So, no, thank you on Kadarius Tony.
Giants Vikings. Briefly spoke about the Giants and their shitty passing offense.
Yeah, we
Quan
did.
obviously doing his thing. But yeah, what do you think about that game? Before I throw my bias in there.
Yeah, I still like the Vikings here. I think the Giants are coming off that really big win against the Commanders. And it kind of feels like they locked up a playoff spot with that. I know they still got some work to do, obviously, but the Vikings scare me, man. The Vikings are like fucking Jekyll and Hyde. Like you
Oh, maybe.
just don't know what to expect from them. I know Kirk Cousins has been killing it in the passing yardage department. But I do like the Vikings here, and you're playing Kirk Cousins in a 2 QB or super flex. You're playing Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, obviously. Adam Thielen is a very interesting flex play. I have him in my Dynasty lineup just because I have no Cooper Kupp. So Adam Thielen's kind of like a solid presence there for me. And I think he has touchdowns in 3 out of his last 4 games, does Thielen. So he's a touchdown dependent guy. And, he's been pretty productive. So especially over the last, like I said, the last month or so. And for the Giants, Daniel Jones, another one of those super flex second quarterback type options, really good on the ground. It's going to be ideal conditions as we talked about. So I think, offensively, it should be a decent game. The Giants could really run the ball, especially with Jones and Barkley. Slayton could make a big play here or there. He's a decent flex option if you don't, if you got some injuries or you got some guys that may not have been productive. So I do like Slayton as a big play flex candidate.
Slayton, I mean, he has been pretty much on the radar the last few weeks. Kind of all they have outside of Saquon. The Vikings should win this game at home. Excuse me, at home where they're 7-1. But we got to play defense. I mean, our biggest issue has been defense. We're starting off shitty like last week. I mean, 33-0. Just a couple dumb plays,
Mm-hmm.
just passes, just everything just going against us. But listen, we rallied back. Greatest comeback in NFL history. So you
Oh, here we go.
gotta give him that. But
Here we go.
we just know that we're never out of it, baby. Uh, yeah. Next game we're rolling into is the Bengals Pats.
Yeah,
Patriots.
this is a game that makes me nervous from a Bengals standpoint, and a lot of my fantasy season is riding on this particular game because I have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. That connection has been really good for me going down the stretch and even into the playoffs, vaulting me into the playoffs. I don't think cold weather bothers Joe Burrow, but it could bother some of those playmakers on the outside, especially a guy like Jamar Chase that kind of relies on those big plays down the field. So I think T. Higgins might be a little bit of a better play. Obviously, if you have Jamar Chase, you're playing him, but I do think T. Higgins being more of a big possession type of guy more than a Chase could have a little bit of a better game, but you're still rolling Chase out there. You're rolling Higgins out there. Joe Mixon, you're playing. Burrow, obviously. Hayden Hurst is officially out, so just note that down there. And on the Patriots side is you're rolling Ramondre and Hunter Henry maybe as a streaming tight end option.
Yeah, Henry burned me last week. Got me 2 points, so yeah, I mean, you're playing all your guys, of course. Stevenson, just a beast, back last week and goes off. But yeah, I mean, like you said, usually the Patriots pretty much, I think the number one, top three, I guess. I don't know. I'm not looking at the defensive team right now, but they've got to be at least the top three in defense each and every week. And they usually take away your top option, which in this case would be, like you said, Jamar Chase. Are they going to be able to stop him because of all the other weapons? I don't know. But
Yeah.
like you said, I know it makes you nervous. They should be okay, but I guess we wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of neck to neck, going down to the wire, maybe.
Yeah,
Just
I could see this being a little bit of a closer game too, like a 27-21, 24-20 kind of game. But I think Joe Burrow's they're really playing well, man. They were down to the Bucks and they just fucking stepped on the gas, and that was pretty much it. So I know the weather conditions aren't going to be ideal up there in Foxborough, but I still like Joe Burrow and everything that the Bengals bring to the table to get the win.
I'm gonna go with the Patriots. I think they're gonna disappoint the Bengals, especially with the weather. And I think, no, I just feel like it's one of those gritty, like Patriots style.
Mm-hmm.
But wins. I think it'll be close. Of course, it'll come down, to the end, and we'll see what happens. But yeah,
Yeah, and there's definitely a case to be made for that.
all right. Lions and Panthers. We're playing at Carolina. We briefly spoke about the Lions earlier with Jared Goff and all them. What do you think about this game in general, Hammer?
Yeah, it feels like a game the Lions should win, but I think they need to really be kind of on their P's and Q's. Carolina plays, even though they don't really have anybody after trading CMC. I still like the Lions here. Like I said, they're playing for a lot. They have the better offense, but it's really tough to not pick the Lions here. So I'm going to take the Lions. Amon-Ra, Swift, Goff, and they traded Hawkinson and they got better. That's hard to imagine, but they did.
Basically, St. Brown was like, yeah, I'm gonna hog all the targets here. So you
The
got to catch me.
targets.
And Jameson Williams is coming back, so we need something for him. And we still got Swift, so we don't really need you, Hawk. But you saw even in the beginning of the season, they were going off, and Hawk wasn't really part of it. They really didn't need Hawk,
Yeah.
with everything that they were doing. So
And now Jameson's getting in the fold, so hopefully he'll be able to make some plays kind of in place, absorbing some of those targets, I should say. So I like the Lions here, but it feels like a trap game for the Lions, which sounds weird to say, but Lions should win this game.
yeah, I think Swift is an interesting flex here. Panthers, they sit in Foreman if you can. What I said before, Lions have been great against the run. They've just been stopping everybody lately, so it's gonna be tough. DJ Moore, I'm playing though against this Lions secondary. And that just nobody that you are touching in this game, and I will go with the Lions taking the win. What about you, Hammer?
Yeah, I got to take the Lions here. It's hard to not
Yeah,
take the Lions in this situation.
I just think half is at Ravens. We've got Ritter in his second game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Drake London's been hogging all of those targets, and then you've got Algier, who had a huge game,
Tell me about it. I had to play him
having
by
his
default.
rookie season there.
Yeah, he really is. If you look at the tally,
743 on the season. And then on the other side, you've got Huntley, who is going to be getting the start. Andrews, who hasn't been good lately. Dobbins, who's been hobbling on one leg, but productive as shit.
100 yards in 2 back-to-back games.
No
That'll
wide
work.
receivers that you can touch. But yeah, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, this feels like a game that the Ravens should win. Falcons do have, it's just Ritter just you don't know what you're gonna get. And
Oh,
we
we know
talked about
what we got last week. We know.
94 yards, 70 of them went to Drake
What
London.
we know what we're gonna get.
So, the running game is gonna have to be key there, you know.
Mariota 2.0 is what it is. It's like,
Yeah, but Mariota's better,
yeah, we know.
obviously, at this point. So it's Mariota 0.5. Um, yeah, I do like the Ravens here, but I do think that the Falcons skill players can get some work done. Algier, Patterson, Drake London, if they can, find him in those short routes and let him make some plays after that. I have to play Tyler Algier in this game as well because I don't know if Jeff Wilson's going to play, and Jeff Wilson plays on Sunday. Algier plays on Saturday. I'm also playing Demarcus Robinson in this game, which is a little risky. But my other options aren't that great. I got Mac Hollins, KJ Osborne,
Mac Hollins, that's a better option
in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, than Demarcus Robinson. I mean, you've
He
got.
hasn't been terrible. So
I mean, I guess the Falcons' pass defense is not good, really either.
But it's been a little better over the last couple of games. But yeah, I'm gonna take the Ravens here at home.
Play any wide receivers on the Ravens?
No, I don't want to.
But I'm gonna go with the Falcons in this one. I think they pull it out. I think that the Ravens really can only run the ball, and Falcons can somewhat put a decent stop to it. Even though, like I said, Ritter is Ritter.
Yeah, I think they'll use those two running backs, Algier and Cordero. I think that'll give them a nice little bump. They'll try and get those guys the ball between 12 and 14 times each because Ritter's are probably only going to throw it 10, 15 times anyway.
Yeah. All right, next we got the Commanders taking on Rock the Glock Purdy's 49ers.
Yeah, I'm taking San Francisco here at home. Heineke's got some stuff, but I think that defense is just crushing people. But you're playing CMC, you're playing Kittle. No, you can't really play Ayuk. Is Debo playing?
Oh, Debo's not back yet. He'll be back for possibly the end of the playoffs, maybe.
So yeah, so
season.
So you're playing those two guys. On the Commander side, you're playing Terry. You could play Dotson. Gibby.
Play Dotson because San Fran has given up a little bit to the slot, and Dotson is primarily kind of lining up there. But I wouldn't mind playing Dotson. He has been hot as well. So
Gibby and B-Rob?
Only if you have to. I'm not playing B-Rob or Gibby probably. If I had to play one, I'd probably pick Gibby, to be honest.
See, that's a tough one because B-Rob's been getting the totes, man.
He is. But don't forget, tough 49er D.
They might have to throw it a little bit more.
They may have to throw it a little bit more, but I just think they'll find themselves in more kind of third down situations where, not going to be Robinson running it up the gut. They got to get a little bit of yardage, kind of. I don't know.
Right.
Don't think B-Rob winds up with a touchdown, and in that case, I'd rather have Gibson, I don't see a 100-yard game coming from B-Rob. It can happen, of course, but just, good percentages, I guess. I'm still taking the Niners to win this, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah. That pretty much wraps that. We've got a couple more games here. We've got the Eagles against the boys. The jockstrap King Minshew versus Dak, who apparently by LaShawn McCoy's words, is ass.
You just love that. You just love that.
Oh, LaShawn McCoy is hilarious. Did you catch it? I think I sent it.
Yeah, I seen it.
No,
Yeah, I
sure.
seen it.
But the
I
way
seen
that he talks on air is straight comedy. Um, is it not?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was a little corny to me, but funny at the same time.
Oh my God. Um, I'm gonna take the Cowboys to win without Jalen Hurts. The Eagles.
Yeah, this is a tough one, honestly, because
Really, Dak
Minshew's
hasn't
not
been
that.
good.
No, I'm gonna take the Eagles here. I just think that listen, Minshew is a solid quarterback. He's not been in these situations, and he played Dallas last year, and he played against them really well when Jalen Hurts was out. So, and everything else around him is going to be the exact same. Miles Sanders, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith. Insert Dallas Goddard back into that tight end spot, and you're in perfect conditions in Dallas. I think the Eagles still score some points. Hopefully they don't, because I'm going against Gardner Minshew in my semifinal matchup, but hopefully I'm wrong. But I do.
I can see a world where Minshew just comes in and throws 3-4
And
touchdowns.
goes crazy. Yeah,
Like I
no,
can see it. Like because he's that kind of guy.
he's a gunslinger. So yeah, so I'm going to take the Eagles here.
Yeah. Just think the Cowboys finally clean up their bullshit. Maybe they put a good game together. Maybe Dak pulls it together.
Maybe, but that's if you have to say maybe, that's a problem at this point.
No, of course, but they are playing at home, so I'll take the boys.
That's even worse.
You can agree to disagree there. Raiders. My bad. Raiders at Steelers. The Derek Carr. Garbage. Josh Jacobs good. Devontae Adams good.
Waller.
It's a shit show. Who are you going with here? We got Waller. That he's back.
And he caught a touchdown.
We've got Pickett coming back. So what's it going to be? We're playing at Pitt. Steeler Nation.
Yeah, I'm taking the Steelers. I'm taking the Steelers. Kenny Pickett's back. I think they play well enough. They run the ball well enough. I mean, the Raiders had 6-8. Still feels like a disappointment, just because of everything they were expected to be and everything they had going into the season. But I'm going to take the Steelers here. Wouldn't surprise me if the Raiders won, but I'm definitely taking the Steelers here. Playing Najee. Are you playing Pickens or Deontay?
Probably not.
Cold weather.
Play anyway, maybe Najee, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I said. Najee. Firemouth.
Yeah, I'll play Firemouth because Pickett is playing. They have a really good connection, so I'll stick with that. Either side, just really Carr, Jacobs, and Adams. I mean, you're not playing. I wouldn't want to play Carr. You're playing Jacobs and Adams. Carr is not really.
No, I don't trust Derek Carr. But Jacobs, hopefully, this has to be a Josh Jacobs game. I need 25 carries for $140 and a touchdown.
Just only.
Hmm?
Raiders just very. We just
Hit or
thought it
miss.
was all coming for the Raiders. Like it was supposed to be the
It
year.
was. Bro, they have everything.
Derek Carr most likely ain't hitting 30 touchdowns once again. He should definitely have. He should have had.
You should have 40.
I took a risk with, but
You took a risk with who?
turned out to be true.
A risk with who?
I took a risk, like just shit. I guess not really a risk, but shitting on Derek Carr like before the season, saying how he wasn't going to be, good QB. He just is who he is. We've seen who he is. He can't throw more than like 30 touchdowns. There you
No,
go.
I just don't know. Is it Josh McDaniels? Is it what is it?
The one thing that's been constant throughout has been Derek Carr.
No, and I understand that. And I listen, he's played like shit, and I was wrong about him going into the season. I will fully admit that. I have no problem admitting that. But also, anywhere Josh McDaniels is coached, it hasn't gone pretty well. Once he leaves New England,
You, do you believe Derek Carr is good enough?
I think he's better than what he's shown this year. I think it's been obviously a tough year, but man, with those guys he has on
What
that
else?
team,
What else can you do? You gave
I
him
I
the
hear
number
you.
one running back. You gave him the number one wide receiver. You gave him a top five tight end. I mean, it's not like
Matt Collins is pretty
defense
good.
is getting up
Renfro,
30, 40
yeah,
points a game either. Like the
he
defense ain't
just does
great, but
dumb
it ain't
shit.
that
He
bad.
just I hear he just does dumb shit. I hear you.
So, at what point is it like a Zach Wilson? Like, bro, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously Derek Carr's better than Zach Wilson. That's not what we're talking about here,
is he
but that's not cool.
But yeah,
But
I mean,
anyway,
they've done everything that you possibly can to support quarterback. So at some point
no
in time,
argument
you got
here.
to be like, all right,
Got to look at him.
you might be the problem.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Let's go to your boys playing Sunday. We got the last four games here. We got the Pack in Miami. We've already mentioned could necessarily be high scoring. We like Autos, the Cheetahs, the Tuas, Aaron Rodgers. I even went with Lazard in one question because I think, you know, I don't know. Again, all those guys are healthy, but I think he's got to get the ball to Lazard. I still think the Dolphins come away with it at home, but the Pack, you're playing Christian Watson, you're playing Aaron Jones. Dylan is a decent flex, but I don't. That's like last
Who?
resort.
Who's a decent flex?
Dylan,
Yeah,
last
Dylan's tough.
resort,
Yeah,
because of
Dylan's tough
that,
here.
you know, could
Are you
be.
playing? Are you playing Lazard, or it really depends on what your
I
options
mean,
are?
I took him in that one question. I mean, I don't want to play Lazard, but again, if you're in a pinch, it depends on your other options. You got to start looking at some of the matchups and
Yeah,
what could possibly be a good scoring game. Say,
in good conditions.
hey, Lazard's been getting some work. Was it just kind of an anomaly last game or what? I mean, who
No, it
knows?
hasn't, bro. It's been since that Dallas game when Christian Watson went off. Lazard's production has ticked down.
Yeah, the production has, but I think the targets were still there. They just weren't hitting. I don't know. Let me check out.
Yeah, he's got. It's kind of been. He
Yes,
had 11.
it's been on and off now. 3, 6, 2. Hasn't been great, but I think it's a game that he can possibly bounce back on. They've got Miami, then Minnesota, and Detroit. It's 3 games. So again, it just depends on your options. But no, you're not playing Lazard basically, unless you have to.
Yeah, I agree.
It's third decent play. See if no Wilson.
especially especially if there's no Wilson, right?
Yeah, but yeah, I think the Dolphins pull it out. What you think?
Yeah, I'm leaning Dolphins here, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Packers won. Just Aaron Rodgers musters up some late magic, but they're gonna have trouble with those receivers.
Yeah. And we got the Broncos at the Rams. We got Russell Wilson coming back. So Russell Wilson first game back. We got Sutton supposed to come back as well. Just keep an eye on that before kickoff. But looks like he's going to be playing. Russell's going to be playing. Latavius Murray obviously did his thing last game. You got Judy who stepped up a little bit while Sutton was out. You got the horrendous Rams offense with the third string quarterback. Whatever his name is, Sorcery. There's nobody that you can play on this Rams team. There's not one.
No, Skoranek,
Broncos,
maybe if you're in a pinch.
I don't even know. Broncos, you can maybe play their defense. And
Latavius,
Curry,
Judy.
probably about it. I guess you can play Judy too.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if Judy was your flex.
Yeah, you could play Judy in the flex. Sutton, just stay away from Sutton until he actually plays a full game, and you know,
Comes away healthy.
yeah. But I'll take the Broncos, even though the Rams are at home.
Yeah, I'll take the Broncos too. Their defense is pretty good enough where if Russell Wilson gets 17, he should be able to win.
We're down to the last two games here. We've
Let's
got
do it.
Big Time Timmy Jim Brady against the third string Cardinals QB, right?
Yep.
So
This
another
se-
string.
this seems like all the makings of a Bucks blowout.
Very
But
well blowout.
obviously, I'm taking the Bucks here. You're playing Godwin. You're playing Evans. Are you playing Rashad White or Lenny? Or are you staying away from that totally?
I'm trying to stay away from that. I think when I'm playing, I don't know about Evans. He hasn't done jack. What has he done lately?
I hear you.
I mean, he's got 3 touchdowns on the season. That's supposed to be his strong point. Like
Yep.
I was saying before the season, he could possibly lead the league in touchdowns this year, which I was wrong about because of the Godwin injury. Started off not too bad. I mean, had 2 touchdowns in that fourth game against KC,
And
and then it
then
kind of
just
he just has not scored touchdowns, and that's what he needs is touchdowns.
the targets are still there, though.
On his touchdowns, targets are still there, but they haven't been hitting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 weeks now in a row.
I think he would still make it into my lineup if I didn't have any other sure
Yeah,
options.
yeah,
You know,
depending what your other options are, but yeah, I'm not messing with the running backs. Tom Brady, I don't know if we can trust that either. I guess.
he could be a good kind of in Bagala's situation. He has Deshaun or Tom Brady, and I think you would lean Tom Brady in that scenario.
And you've got on the Cardinal side, we talked about the third string. I don't know if you can play any of those wide receivers.
It'd be tough to keep the hop out of your lineup. That'd be really tough.
Yeah. What about Connor?
Oh yeah, I'm playing Connor. Kind of have to, just by
You think
default.
he's gonna get work whether they got a pass or not.
Listen, even if Connor ends up rushing 25 times for 80 yards and a touchdown, you'll take that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Bucks in this one.
100%.
No QB for the Cardinals. It brings us to the last game here, which is the Chargers at the Colts Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Dick Nick back at QB now for the Colts.
Yes, sir.
You've got no JT, so you got Deion Jackson and Zach Moss. A lot of questions. Okay, who do I pick? Zach Moss or I don't necessarily believe the whole Zach Moss is getting the majority of the work thing. I'm still more of a fan of Deion. In this game, they could be down, so Deion should be the better play in this game.
Agreed.
Again, of course, anything can happen. And to the Charger side, you've got Herbert with all his weapons.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Keenan, Mikey, Eckler, Everett, potentially as a streaming option at tight end.
mm-hmm.
I like all of that, and I like the Chargers, by the way.
Yeah, I like all that too. I like the Chargers as well. I don't think the Colts are chance unless Big Dick Nick fucking starts going nuts.
Which
Like, just whips it out
he
and starts slapping everybody with it again.
are you playing
Um,
Pittman? Kind of gotta have to, right?
Nick can sling it, and if they're
You
down,
can.
they have to throw it. So I mean, I would still play Pittman. Again, depends on your options. I mean, when you're playing in these, team
Final
league,
four.
you probably shouldn't play Pittman because there's probably better options. But playing in 10, 12, 14 team, Pittman is probably one of the better options that you do have.
Hell
But
yeah.
yeah, I'm going with the Chargers there as well. But yeah, so we got games kicking off tomorrow at 1.
It's beautiful.
Bills, Bears, Saints, Browns, Texans, Titans, Seahawks, Chiefs, Giants, Vikings. Damn, there's a shit ton of games.
Yeah, there's only 3 games on Sunday. Sunday's Christmas.
Yeah,
So
everything is tomorrow at 1. Nice.
tomorrow's basically the full slate, and then you get 3 games on Sunday and then Monday.
All right. But yeah, we've got the Tua card giveaway. So we'll give that out next week. Maybe on Monday's episode. No, maybe we'll do it on Friday. We'll make it like a New Year type thing as well. Or I don't even know when the New Year is. We'll have to figure it out. Anyway, we'll give that out next week. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Christmas, happy holidays. Of course, appreciate y'all. Hit us in the DMs. Instagram if you got any last second questions. But
A little bit of slower Friday night than usual.
Yeah, I think with the holiday, a lot of people are around. I don't know if there's people on right now. Now that we're getting towards the end of the season, a lot of people aren't playing as well.
That's true. That's true. That is very
true. Hustler's the only one that's on. He's on every night. He's the only other one on right now. The other kind of major shows, but happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Yes, sir.
As always.
When are we back? Monday?
I think so. Yeah, back Monday.
I like it.
See y'all. Good luck for semifinals.
Yeah, I actually have a birthday dinner on Monday,
so we'll make it Friday or Tuesday.
We could even do Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday wouldn't be bad.
All right.
Get those wins.
Those damn wins, boys.